Have you ever reached for a simple snack in the evening and thought, this can't possibly be harming my health? Because the uncomfortable truth is, some of the most ordinary snacks sitting in American kitchens right now may be quietly putting pressure on your kidneys every single day, and most people have absolutely no idea it's happening. I'm Dr. Johnny, and here's what concerns me the most. Kidney damage rarely begins with pain. It doesn't usually announce itself with a loud warning or a sudden symptom. Instead, it builds slowly and silently while the kidneys keep working around the clock, filtering your blood, balancing your fluids, and clearing out waste just to keep your body stable. But when the foods we eat every day add hidden stress, too much sodium, phosphorus, additives, unstable blood sugar, that silent workload can begin to wear those delicate filters down. And that's why this topic matters more than most people realize. Across the United States, millions of adults are living with early kidney stress without knowing it often because of everyday habits that seem harmless at the time. The snacks we grab between meals may feel small and insignificant, yet repeated day after day, they can quietly shape the health of our blood vessels, our circulation, and ultimately the way our kidneys function. But here's the encouraging part, and this is what I want you to take away from today's video. Protecting your kidneys doesn't have to involve extreme diets or expensive supplements. Sometimes the smartest change begins with something surprisingly simple, choosing the right snacks that help your body flush, waste more efficiently instead of forcing your kidneys to work harder. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through 4 surprisingly powerful snacks that can support your kidneys and help your body move toxins out more effectively. They're affordable, easy to find in nearly any grocery store across America, and when used the right way, they can quietly reduce the daily strain placed on your kidneys. And one of them, the third snack on this list, almost always surprises people when they learn what it can do. Let's start with something almost nobody expects to hear in a kidney health conversation: popcorn. Not the buttery movie theater kind, not the microwave bags loaded with artificial flavoring and sodium, but plain air-popped popcorn. When it's prepared the right way, this simple snack quietly becomes one of the smartest whole grain choices you can make for your kidneys. At first glance, popcorn doesn't look like a health food. Most people associate it with late-night movies, sports games, or quick snacks between meals. But when you strip away the heavy salt, butter, oils, and artificial additives, you're left with something completely different, a natural whole grain packed with dietary fiber. And that fiber plays a much bigger role in kidney health than most people realize. Your kidneys rely on an intricate network of tiny blood vessels called glomeruli. These microscopic filters remove waste products, balance minerals, and help regulate fluids in your body every single minute of the day. But here's the problem. When cholesterol levels rise, when blood sugar spikes repeatedly, or when inflammation begins building up inside your blood vessels, those delicate filters start to struggle. Over time, circulation becomes less efficient, and the kidneys have to work harder just to do the same job they used to do effortlessly. This is where fiber enters the picture in a surprisingly powerful way. Research frequently highlighted in major U.S. nutrition and cardiometabolic studies shows that diets rich in whole grain fiber help reduce LDL cholesterol, stabilize blood sugar, and improve digestive balance. When LDL cholesterol decreases, blood vessels, including the fragile ones feeding your kidneys, remain more flexible and open. That means better circulation, and better circulation means more efficient filtration. Think of it like this. Imagine your bloodstream as a highway system. When cholesterol builds up, it's like traffic congestion forming in every lane. The kidneys are trying to filter blood moving through that highway, but the slower and more blocked the flow becomes, the harder their job gets. Fiber helps clear that traffic, allowing the system to run more smoothly. I remember speaking with a middle-aged patient named Daniel who thought he was eating normal snacks every night. Chips-flavored crackers and packaged snack mixes, nothing extreme, just everyday convenience foods. But those snacks were packed with sodium and phosphate additives, 2 things that quietly increase kidney workload over time. When Daniel switched to simple whole grain options like air-popped popcorn, something interesting happened. Within months, his cholesterol markers improved, his blood pressure stabilized slightly, and he realized something else too. He felt lighter after meals instead of sluggish. That's the hidden advantage of whole grain snacks like popcorn. Unlike heavily processed foods, plain popcorn contains no phosphate preservatives. This matters because phosphate additives are extremely common in processed snacks throughout the United States, and when kidney function begins to decline, excess phosphorus can accumulate in the bloodstream and increase strain on the kidneys. Now let's talk about preparation because this is where many people accidentally turn a healthy food into something harmful. The ideal portion is about 3 cups of air-popped popcorn. That may sound like a lot, but popcorn is naturally light and low in calories when it isn't soaked in oils or butter. Skip microwave packets that contain artificial butter flavoring. Instead, start with plain kernels and use an air popper or a stovetop method without added oils. For flavor, you can sprinkle garlic powder, smoked paprika, or black pepper. Some people even add a small amount of nutritional yeast, which creates a savory taste similar to cheese without the heavy sodium. And here's an important tip many people overlook. Pair popcorn with hydration. A glass of water or unsweetened herbal tea alongside your snack helps your kidneys flush metabolic waste more effectively, while fiber supports digestion and circulation. When you combine these two things, fiber and hydration, you're creating a small internal support system. Fiber helps regulate cholesterol and blood sugar, while fluids assist the kidneys in moving toxins out of the body. It's a simple partnership happening quietly inside you. And perhaps the most encouraging part of this strategy is accessibility. Popcorn kernels are inexpensive, widely available in grocery stores across the United States, and easy to prepare at home. You don't need expensive supplements or exotic ingredients to start supporting your kidneys. Sometimes the most effective solutions are the ones already sitting in your pantry. So don't underestimate this humble snack. When prepared the right way, air-popped popcorn becomes more than something to munch on during a movie. It becomes a strategic choice that supports healthier blood vessels, steadier cholesterol levels, and a lighter workload for your kidneys. But knowing about fiber alone isn't enough to fully protect your kidneys, because there's another factor many people overlook every single day, and it may be even more important than the grains you eat. It comes down to the type of protein in your snacks, and that's exactly where the next food on our list begins to change the story. Now, earlier we talked about how fiber from whole grains like air-popped popcorn can support blood circulation and make kidney filtration easier. But circulation is only part of the equation. The next factor that quietly influences kidney health every single day is the type of protein we snack on, and this is where hummus begins to change the story. At first glance, hummus might seem like nothing more than a creamy dip sitting next to vegetables at a party, but nutritionally it represents something far more powerful. Hummus is made primarily from chickpeas, blended with olive oil, lemon, and a few simple ingredients. That combination creates a snack rich in plant-based protein, fiber, and healthy fats, 3 elements that work together to reduce the hidden strain placed on the kidneys. To understand why this matters, we need to look at how the body processes protein. Every time we eat protein, our body breaks it down and produces metabolic waste products that the kidneys must filter out of the bloodstream. When protein intake is heavily dominated by processed meats or large portions of red meat, the kidneys have to work harder to remove those waste byproducts. Over time, that extra workload can gradually stress the filtration system. Plant protein behaves differently. Research in nutritional science consistently shows that plant-based protein sources often create less metabolic burden compared to heavy animal protein intake. Chickpeas, the base of hummus, deliver protein in a form that comes packaged with fiber and beneficial plant compounds. That fiber helps regulate digestion, while plant nutrients support metabolic balance. But hummus doesn't help the kidneys in just one way, it supports the entire environment around them. The fiber in chickpeas helps lower LDL cholesterol levels, and this again circles back to circulation. Remember those tiny kidney filters we talked about earlier? They depend on steady blood flow through delicate vessels. When cholesterol levels rise, those vessels become narrower and stiffer, making filtration more difficult. Lower cholesterol means smoother circulation, and smoother circulation means the kidneys can remove toxins more efficiently. Then there's olive oil, another key ingredient in traditional hummus. Olive oil is rich in monounsaturated fats that support blood vessel health and help regulate blood pressure. This is crucial because high blood pressure remains one of the leading causes of kidney damage in the United States. When blood pressure stays elevated for long periods, it places intense pressure on the microscopic filtering units inside the kidneys. I once spoke with a viewer named Maria who shared a story that perfectly illustrates this point. For years, she relied on salty snack foods, pita chips, crackers, and processed dips because they were quick and convenient. But her doctor eventually warned her that her blood pressure was creeping upward. Instead of cutting snacks entirely, she made a small adjustment. She swapped the chips for sliced cucumbers and bell peppers dipped in hummus. The change sounded simple, almost trivial. But over time, that one shift dramatically reduced her sodium intake while increasing fiber and healthy fats. And this is the kind of quiet upgrade that often makes the biggest difference. Kidney health rarely changes overnight. It's shaped by daily patterns repeated again and again. When a snack provides fiber, plant protein, and healthy fats instead of sodium and preservatives, the body gradually moves toward a more balanced internal environment. Of course, portion control still matters. The ideal serving of hummus is about 2 tablespoons per snack. Chickpeas contain beneficial nutrients, but they also contain potassium, so balance is key. Pair hummus with fresh vegetables like carrots, celery, cucumbers, or bell peppers rather than salty pita chips. That combination increases fiber intake even further while keeping sodium levels low. There's also another simple trick that many people overlook: hydration. Fiber works best when the body is properly hydrated. Drinking water alongside a fiber-rich snack helps support digestion and assist the kidneys in flushing waste products out of the bloodstream. In other words, the fiber stabilizes the internal environment while water helps move toxins out of the body. What makes hummus especially powerful is its accessibility. You can find it in almost every grocery store across the United States, from large retailers like Walmart and Target to smaller local markets. But when choosing a brand, always check the ingredient label. Look for low-sodium varieties and avoid products with long lists of preservatives or phosphate additives. When eaten in the right portion and paired with fresh vegetables, hummus becomes more than a snack. It becomes a strategic nutritional tool that supports cholesterol, balance, stabilizes blood pressure, and reduces the metabolic strain placed on the kidneys every single day. But understanding the role of protein still doesn't complete the picture of kidney-friendly snacking, because there's another category of food that surprises almost everyone when they learn how it affects kidney circulation and blood sugar stability. And strangely enough, it's something most people assume they should avoid entirely: a cookie. Now here's where the story takes a turn that surprises almost everyone. Up to this point, we've talked about whole grains like popcorn and plant-based snacks, like hummus, foods people generally associate with healthy eating. But the next snack on this list is something most people assume belongs on the avoid completely category when it comes to kidney health: cookies. And in many cases, that assumption is correct. Highly processed desserts packed with refined sugar, artificial fats, and chemical additives can spike blood sugar, trigger inflammation, and place additional pressure on the body's filtration system. But when we look closely at one particular type of cookie, oatmeal cookies made with simple ingredients, we discover something surprisingly different. The key lies in the main ingredient: oats. Oats contain a unique soluble fiber called beta-glucan, and this compound has been studied extensively in nutrition research. In fact, several clinical studies have shown that beta-glucan can help reduce LDL cholesterol levels by binding to cholesterol particles during digestion and removing them from the body before they enter circulation. Lower cholesterol means healthier blood vessels, and healthier blood vessels directly support the delicate filtration system inside your kidneys. Remember those microscopic filters we discussed earlier? The glomeruli inside your kidneys rely on steady blood flow through extremely small vessels. When cholesterol builds up and circulation becomes restricted, those filters struggle to remove waste efficiently. Over time, that strain can quietly damage the kidney's ability to perform its job. Beta-glucan helps improve this environment by supporting better circulation. And better circulation means something extremely important for kidney function: smoother filtration of metabolic waste and toxins. But oats contribute another advantage that many people overlook. Unlike refined white flour desserts, oats digest slowly. This slower digestion helps stabilize blood sugar levels rather than causing sudden spikes followed by sharp crashes. And that stability matters more than most people realize. Repeated blood sugar spikes can damage blood vessels throughout the body, including those feeding the kidneys. Over time, unstable glucose levels create microscopic damage that weakens filtration efficiency. By releasing energy gradually, oats help reduce those dramatic metabolic swings. I once read a comment from a viewer named Michael who shared something interesting about this exact topic. For years, he believed that protecting his kidneys meant eliminating every sweet snack from his diet. So he tried to quit desserts entirely, but eventually the restriction became frustrating and unsustainable. What finally worked for him was a smarter compromise. Instead of sugary pastries or frosted desserts, he began choosing small homemade oatmeal cookies made with rolled oats, minimal sugar and simple ingredients. The change wasn't dramatic, but it was consistent, and that consistency made all the difference. Over time, he noticed fewer blood sugar crashes during the afternoon and found it easier to maintain healthier snack habits without feeling deprived. That's the real lesson here. Kidney-friendly eating doesn't always mean eliminating every enjoyable food. Sometimes it means upgrading the ingredients behind the foods you already enjoy. Of course, there is an important rule to remember. Not all oatmeal cookies are created equal. Many store-bought versions are loaded with refined sugars, hydrogenated oils, and phosphate additives that can actually increase kidney stress rather than reduce it. The ideal version is simple rolled oats, a modest amount of natural sweetener, a small portion of heart-healthy oil, and minimal sodium. Portion size also matters. One small cookie is enough to provide the fiber benefits without overwhelming the body with sugar or calories. Pairing that cookie with unsweetened tea or water can make the snack even more balanced. Hydration supports kidney filtration, while the fiber from oats supports cholesterol control and blood sugar stability. When you combine those factors, fiber-stable glucose levels and better circulation, you create a nutritional environment that works in favor of your kidneys rather than against them. And perhaps the most encouraging part of this strategy is psychological. Allowing small, smarter treats makes healthy eating sustainable. When people feel they must eliminate everything enjoyable, they often return to unhealthy habits later. But when snacks are upgraded instead of eliminated, those better habits become easier to maintain for years. Still, even though fiber-rich oats and balanced sweets can support kidney health, there is another factor many people overlook entirely when choosing snacks. And ironically, the next food on this list might be the simplest one of all, so simple that most people walk right past it in the grocery store without realizing how powerful it can be for reducing daily kidney stress. Because sometimes the most effective kidney-friendly snack isn't the most complex or nutrient-dense food, it's the one that removes hidden mineral overload from your diet. And that brings us to the final snack on this list. By now, you've probably noticed a pattern. The snacks we've talked about so far, whole grains like popcorn, plant-based foods like hummus, and fiber-rich oats, don't protect the kidneys by doing something dramatic. Instead, they quietly reduce the daily stress placed on the body's filtration system. And that leads us to the final snack on this list, one that may look almost too simple to matter, yet its simplicity is exactly what makes it powerful: plain rice cakes. At first glance, rice cakes seem almost boring compared to other snacks. They're light, dry, and often overlooked in the grocery store aisle. But when it comes to kidney health, their simplicity can actually work in your favor. Many processed snack foods are loaded with hidden ingredients that place extra pressure on the kidneys: excess sodium phosphate preservatives, artificial flavor enhancers, and added sugars. Over time, those ingredients accumulate in the body and increase the workload on your kidneys as they attempt to filter and balance those substances in the bloodstream. Plain puffed rice cakes avoid many of these problems entirely. When you choose the unflavored version, you're getting a snack that is naturally low in sodium, potassium, and phosphorus, three minerals that can become difficult for the kidneys to manage when consumed in excess. This is especially important for people who are beginning to monitor kidney function or who want to prevent unnecessary strain on their filtration system. To understand why this matters, imagine your kidneys like a highly advanced water filtration system. Every minute they filter waste products, balance electrolytes, and regulate fluid levels in your body. But if too many minerals build up in the bloodstream, particularly sodium or phosphorus, the system has to work much harder to maintain balance. Over time, that extra workload can slowly wear down the delicate filtering structures inside the kidneys. This is why a simple snack like a rice cake can be surprisingly strategic. It gives your body energy without flooding your system with extra minerals that your kidneys must process. Instead of adding pressure, it provides a neutral foundation that keeps the internal environment stable. I remember a conversation with a viewer named Linda, who told me she had struggled for years with evening snacking. Like many people, she often reached for flavored crackers, chips, or packaged snack mixes while watching television at night. She didn't realize that many of those foods contained extremely high levels of sodium and phosphate additives. When she began replacing those snacks with plain rice cakes topped with healthier ingredients, she noticed something interesting. Not only did her sodium intake drop dramatically, but she also felt less bloated and more energized the next morning. And that's where rice cakes become much more versatile than people expect. Instead of eating them plain, think of them as a clean foundation for smarter combinations. A thin layer of hummus adds plant protein and fiber. A small spread of natural almond butter provides healthy fats that support steady energy. Fresh berries can add antioxidants that support blood vessel health and circulation. Each of these combinations transforms a simple rice cake into a balanced snack that works with your body rather than against it. Another advantage is blood sugar stability. Many heavily processed snack foods contain refined carbohydrates and added sugars that cause rapid spikes in glucose levels. Those spikes can damage blood vessels over time, including the tiny vessels that feed your kidneys. Rice cakes, when paired with fiber or healthy fats, create a much more stable energy release. Of course, there is one important rule to remember. Always choose the plain version. Flavored varieties, barbecue caramel cheese, or ranch often contain hidden sodium artificial flavor enhancers and added sugars that defeat the purpose of choosing a simple snack in the first place. The ingredient list should be short and recognizable. Ideally, it should contain nothing more than rice and a small amount of salt. Another benefit many people appreciate is convenience. Rice cakes are inexpensive, shelf-stable, and available in nearly every grocery store across the United States. That means you can keep them on hand without worrying about spoilage, making it easier to maintain healthier snack habits throughout the week. And when you step back and look at the bigger picture, this final snack reinforces one of the most important lessons in kidney health. Protecting your kidneys isn't always about adding complicated superfoods or following extreme diets. Sometimes the most powerful strategy is simply removing the hidden stressors that slowly burden the body day after day. When snacks are clean, balanced, and low in unnecessary additives, your kidneys can focus on what they're designed to do: filter waste, regulate fluids, and maintain the delicate balance that keeps your entire body functioning smoothly. But knowing the right snacks is only the first step, because the real difference between protecting your kidneys and slowly damaging them often comes down to something even more powerful than nutrition alone. And that final insight is what brings everything in this video together. As we come to the end of this video, I want to remind you of something important. Your kidneys are working for you every single minute of the day. Even while you're sleeping, they are filtering your blood-balancing fluids and quietly protecting the stability of your entire body. Most of the time, we don't even notice the incredible job they're doing until something begins to go wrong. That's why the small choices you make every day truly matter. Protecting your kidneys doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't require extreme diets or expensive supplements. Often it begins with simple, consistent habits. Choosing snacks that support circulation, stabilize blood sugar, and reduce unnecessary mineral overload can make a real difference over time. A bowl of clean air popped popcorn, a serving of hummus with fresh vegetables, a small oatmeal cookie made with simple ingredients, or a plain rice cake with healthy toppings may seem like small decisions. But when those decisions are repeated day after day, they help reduce hidden stress on your kidneys and support your body's natural ability to remove waste and toxins. If you found this video helpful, I encourage you to save it so you can come back to these tips whenever you need a reminder. And if you care about protecting your kidneys and learning more practical ways to support your health, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I share simple science-based insights designed to help you understand your body better and make smarter choices for long-term wellness. And one more thing before you go, your kidneys are remarkably resilient organs. When you start supporting them with better habits, hydration, balanced nutrition, and mindful daily choices, they often respond in powerful ways. Small changes today can protect your health for many years to come. So take care of your kidneys, stay curious about your health, and I'll see you in the next video.